The classroom was quiet. Julian's fingers hovered above the keys. The bell had stopped ringing, but no one dared to speak. Every student stared. Every eye followed his hands. The piano waited. Julian took a deep breath. He pressed the first note. Soft, gentle, trembling. Then another. The melody began to grow. It told a story of silence and courage. The students leaned forward. Some whispered. Some covered their mouths. No one laughed. The music carried feelings. Sadness, hope, wonder. Julian's fingers moved faster. The notes flowed like a river. The piano sang. It was magical. No one had ever heard it like this before. A girl gasped. "What is this?" she whispered. A boy covered his eyes. "It's beautiful," he said softly. Julian didn't notice. He only noticed the piano. It spoke to him. It told him secrets. It told him that he was not invisible. It told him that he mattered. And with each note, Julian grew bolder. The melody rose. It filled the room. It wrapped around every student. Even the loudest boys were silent. Even the ones who laughed before were staring. And then, the piano's voice changed. The notes became powerful, strong, emotional. It was no longer a whisper. It was a storm of feelings. And Julian was the heart of it. The students gasped. A girl's hands flew to her mouth. A boy leaned forward, eyes wide. The room was alive. Every note seemed to speak to each student. Some felt joy, some felt sorrow, some felt hope. And still, Julian played. He closed his eyes. The music was no longer about fear. It was about courage. It was about belief. It was about magic. And the classroom was silent. No one breathed. No one blinked. Every note mattered. Every pause was alive. The piano's voice was telling the story of a forgotten time, of dust and shadows, of a boy who nobody noticed, of courage hidden inside. Then something unexpected happened. Julian's fingers stumbled. He pressed the wrong key. A harsh sound cut through the melody. The room tensed. A boy whispered, "He's going to fail." Julian's hands froze. He could feel the fear creeping back. But then he remembered the teacher's words. "Play for the piano," the teacher had whispered. "Not for them, for the piano." Julian exhaled slowly. He pressed the next key. And it was perfect. The melody returned. Stronger, brighter, more alive. The students leaned forward again. The whispers had stopped. The room held its breath. "And Julian felt unstoppable. Then the teacher spoke. Softly, almost like a secret. "The piano knew you were coming," he said. Julian's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" he whispered. The teacher smiled. "I've been waiting for someone like you," he said. "Someone quiet. Someone who listens. Someone who feels." Julian's hands shook. The students were watching. No one could hear the teacher's voice over the music, but Julian heard it. And it gave him strength. The melody became more emotional. Soft at first, then powerful. It rose to a climax. It felt like the piano was alive. It felt like it was breathing. It felt like it was speaking. To everyone in the room, the students slowly began to react. One by one, a girl's eyes filled with tears. A boy whispered, I didn't know music could feel like this." Another student gasped. Whispers spread. "Wow. Is he really playing? It's incredible." The room was frozen in awe. Then, slowly, applause began. A single clap. Then another. Then the room erupted. Hands clapped. Feet stomped. Julian opened his eyes. He saw the students smiling. He saw their wonder. He saw their disbelief. And he realized, had done Italiano, he had touched hearts. He had made them feel, and the piano, the old, forgotten piano, had spoken through him. The teacher walked closer. He nodded at Julian. "Do you understand now?" he asked. Julian swallowed. "Yes," he whispered. "Not for them," the teacher said, "but for yourself, for the music, for the story hidden inside." Julian smiled. He had finally found his voice. The classroom was alive with applause, but the magic didn't end there. Because the music had told a story no one would forget. The story of courage, of hope, of a quiet boy who believed even when no one else did. After the applause faded, the teacher spoke again. "Some things are hidden for a reason," he said. "Sometimes they wait for the right person. And sometimes that person is you." Julian looked at the piano. It seemed to shine softly in the classroom light. Dust floated in the air, but it felt alive. It had been forgotten for 20 years. Until now. And Julian knew he had changed. Forever. The students approached him slowly. Some whispered apologies. Some praised him. Even the loudest boys smiled. They had learned something. That day, something magical had happened. And Julian had discovered something about himself. The teacher stepped back. He watched the students leave the room, one by one. Julian's journey had only begun. The piano had chosen him. And the world was listening now. Tatevening, Julian returned to the basement. The piano was quiet again. Dust settled softly on the keys, but Julian knew it was not silent. It had a story, and he had become part of it. He pressed one key. Soft, gentle, perfect. And the note echoed through the basement. Reminder that courage and belief could awaken even the most forgotten things. The teacher closed the door behind him. A secret smile crossed his face. He had known. He had always known. Some talents are invisible until the right moment. And sometimes the world only notices when the music begins. The old piano had finally found its voice. Julian had finally found his courage. The classroom, the students, the teacher, all would remember. This day, the quiet boy had become the hero, and the music had changed everything.